This is the world's largest military aircraft, and these are supercars. We're gonna find out how many of these would fit inside. We're gonna take it to the skies and race it. You're not gonna wanna miss this one. First, let's head over to the hangar to check the supercars out. We're in this massive hangar, and this is where all the supercars are being stored for now, and they are so many here. This is such an assortment of amazing cars. We got a GT500, we have a Ferrari, a Porsche GT3 RS, couple of Dodge Vipers. There's 16 supercars here. I have no idea if all of these are gonna fit in the C5 Super Galaxy. Supercars. Now it's time to see what carries them. The C5 Galaxy. This is a C5 Super Galaxy, the world's largest military aircraft. And like, you can't quite tell, but it's huge. It is taller than a 6-story building. It is 247 feet long, which is about as long as 2.5 blue whales. This thing is so heavy, empty weight with nothing in it. It weighs 5,000 pounds, and it can hold almost 50,000 gallons of gas. Because it's so big and heavy, it needs to burn a lot of fuel to get it up in the air. Now, what's really, really cool is that it has a lot of cargo space. So the nose itself will open up and a ramp will come out to load either vehicles, satellites, cargo, sea containers, all sorts of stuff. This aircraft has 28 wheels. Like, look at how massive these things are. It comes basically up to my height. And there's 28 of these to make sure that this takes off, lands, and is able to brake. Like, that's a lot of work for that rubber. And it has 4 jets, which consume so much gas. So this is known to load cargo through the nose. Now, before the nose lifts up, see how high the plane is off the ground? It has a system similar to airbag suspension on a car. It's not airbags, but it has a corkscrew system where the wheels are. So the whole plane will kind of squat down, and then the nose itself will open up to let a ramp out, so it's easier to load cargo. Remember, this was designed and made in the 1960s. Now that I've seen the plane, it's time to suit up and take her to the sky. I'll be up in the cockpit watching a mid-air refuel, which I can't wait for, even though I'm a bit nervous. Luckily, pilot Nate was on hand.
This is the biggest jet in the United States Air Force, and at one time was the biggest jet in the world when it first came out in the 60s.
Wow.
When you need something big and a lot of anything moved, that's when you call on the C5 to get it all moved at once.
That's a big plane. That is huge. We're in the flight deck, and there's so much going on. It's very busy up here. Everybody's doing a job, getting the final checks ready to go before our flight.
Here you see one of the largest flight decks in the world.
So I've done a handful of flight simulators. What is the likelihood that I get to hang out here?
So you'll be sitting in the center, right behind the pilots for the takeoff and air refueling.
We are about to start engines to take off. This C5 is still on the ground, and we are about 40 feet up in the air, and it's just trippy and wild. It doesn't seem like you're that high up. Such an interesting sensation feeling it move. This is so cool. Slow it down, spread 5-5 off the deck. See ya! It's officially taken off. That was honestly a much smoother takeoff than I was expecting, especially how windy it is here. This is insane. Looking down from here, you realize how massive this aircraft really is. Now that Nate has handed off the controls to the other pilots, it's going to take us down to the cargo line. You're going to go down backwards. Don't look down, don't look down, don't look down, don't look down. This is massive.
It is the largest cargo bay in the entire United States Air Force.
This is a unit.
It is absolutely massive. And you can probably see us shifting a little bit right now. Upstairs, we're turning towards a KC-46 tanker, and we're about to go do air refueling.
Oh, we're about to do air refueling.
We're about to do air refueling right now.
All right, let's go. But the C5 Galaxy is really well known for is being able to be refueled in the air, which is happening right now.
Roughly about 1 mile behind it right now.
Oh, wow. Mid-air refueling lets the massive C5 Super Galaxy stay airborne longer without landing. A tanker aircraft flies alongside the C5 and connects via a boom or hose system. The boom locks into a refueling port just behind the cockpit, and fuel is pumped directly into the C5's tanks. Refueling can take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours. Imagine that, a floating gas station in the sky. So if you can see up there, there's a small stick that goes left to right that is called the food, and they're doing testing now to make sure they have full control of this before the planes need a fueling. We're getting really close to the plane now. So that vibration that we're feeling now is that the tail of the C5 Galaxy is so tall that as we're getting close to its anchor, it is catching the legs from the tanker. And we're getting really close now to the tanker to be able to refuel. And there is some room for play, so it doesn't need to be super specific, but still the precision to be able to move such a large aircraft and put here, put there, insane. The pressure is so intense right now, but the anticipation.
3, 2, contact.
Is that it?
Flash.
That's it, flash.
See that little square?
This one?
It's right here. That's where it's hitting us.
Wow. That's super cool. So that sound that you heard was the boom for the tanker latching in to refuel us now. Imagine refueling your car without stopping in a storm. This is what it felt like. Honestly, I'm blown away. This plane flies so much smoother than I thought it would, despite how big it is, and that was really, really fun. Now knowing that they don't make planes like this anymore, I'm that much more grateful to be able to experience such an amazing opportunity like this. Let's go. What a wild, wild ride. Before we see how many supercars could fit in the cargo space, we have been given the unique opportunity for a world first, and we'll be racing the C5 Super Galaxy against a McLaren 765 LT. I think we all know who the winner will be, but how could we say no? We have the C5 Galaxy coming in to do a touch and go. We're gonna have the McLaren do a rip as soon as the C5 lets us know he's ready to go. C5 ready. Copy. Wow, that was so cool. There was never any doubt on the McLaren, but it was cool to see one of the world's biggest planes racing against it. The drag race may be over, but now it's time to take a closer look at the incredible Super Galaxy. I have something really cool I want to show you. Come on. It just keeps going. We're going up here. Remember, these were designed in the 1960s, right around when the Vietnam War was taking place. So downstairs, they would have tanks, battle equipment, everything ready to go. And up here is where they would have the soldiers. This fits 73 soldiers. So they designed these to fit an entire battalion to be delivered and ready to fight. You can really tell the time that this was made by the airplane seats. A lot of history behind these amazing aircraft. And if we go this way, so there's actually unusable cargo space. It's a lot of cargo space, but through this hole, you can see all of the unused cargo space. And then in there is a ladder, and that ladder goes to the top of the tail. Now it was time to head back into the cockpit and have a look at it without everybody preparing for a flight. All of the switches, buttons, the amount of controls in here is more than I've ever seen on a aircraft, machine, any of it. This is insane. So back then they didn't have as much technology to assist flying. So they have all of the controls from light controls. They have flight engineers, navigators. Like over here, you can see all of the individual switches. And then they would even have a co-pilot and a pilot. Like here's where the co-pilot would sit. It's crazy that this has pedals here, which are both brakes, a steering wheel on the side, which is what steers the craft when you're taxiing, and even all of this steering here. And then even seeing all the modernization that they did, you could see all of the screens, navigation that they had. Now this was created in the 60s. They didn't have all this technology. In the 2000s, they did a modernization program on all of these C5s. So they were C5 Galaxies, and after the modernization program, they were the C5 Super Galaxies. So they modernized screens, technology, navigation, wiring, engines to allow for more thrust, everything. So its top speed is 518 miles per hour. It has a range of 5,500 miles before needing more fuel. The beauty of this, though, is that it can be refueled in the air. Now with the cockpit explored, it was time for a full tour of the interior, including a few hidden spaces.
This right here is one of our escape hatches.
Okay.
So when we taxi around, they'll actually have someone poke their head out of it to help us see around the plane because it's so big, to make sure we don't hit anything. And then right here is where you'd see our enlisted go ahead and camp out. Right here we have Sergeant Garcia, one of our maintainers. Lots of room, nice and comfy. And then this is the aft flight deck. So we'll typically use this space for extra personnel, passengers, mostly crew. Here we have our oven. Very simple, just a normal oven with a rack for different meals. So you can take that out just a separate full oven. And then right here is our full-size refrigerator. And we can pop it open and check it out. And then just have multiple drawers, and this will help keep us all of our food and snacks nice and cold. And then back here, we just have some more seats. This is typically where if we're carrying secure cargo, it has to be escorted. So we'll have those escorts sit here. And I'll have you guys just stay pretty far back just to be safe. But in the event we really need to get out of this plane, we can go ahead and open this hatch. And let's say there's a fire in the front, or you need to check the cargo. We can drop a ladder, and there's the cargo bay about 20 feet underneath us.
Wow. Secret entrance. Now that we have learned about the epic capacity of this plane, let's try to see how many supercars can fit inside of it. I'm going to the hangar to pick up the rest of the supercars to bring them to the C5. It's not every day you see these machines pull up to something even more extreme. The visor position is crucial for the C5's loading process. It makes it possible to load anything in a matter of minutes without a separate loading dock. We're gonna be opening up the nose of the aircraft, and we have in here to supervise me to make sure I don't mess it up. I have to press and hold it until this light comes on because it needs to open all the way. That is so cool. Oh, I'm letting the wind in. Light is on. It says the ramp is armed and it's up now. It says the thing. That is so cool. Wow, this is even more impressive from the outside. But just wait. The whole aircraft is going to be kneeling down. Come on. On this side. Ready? All right. Look out. Going to fully extend that out. Once we get the okay, we're ready to pull the final pin. Now that we've gotten the plane ready, prepared, and removed the pins, everybody in the flight deck will press the buttons to make the whole aircraft kneel. Look at how low it is now that it's officially lowered. Like, that's so low for how big this aircraft is. Now they're gonna let me operate the ramp, and it's gonna be coming down, but let's go turn on the switches.
So you'll just take this switch,
Okay?
hold it up to open,
Okay.
the ramp will fully go down.
Okay.
It's not gonna look like it's done. I'll tell you when it's done.
Okay. Woo, it's so windy. The cargo hold space of a C5 Super Galaxy is 35,000 cubic feet. We want to measure this the best way we know how, supercars. So one by one, we'll be filling that space with a supercar, and let's see how many we can actually fit inside of a C5 Super Galaxy. Put the Lamborghini in reverse and we are parking the last car. We asked how many supercars could fit inside the C5 Galaxy, and after loading up Lamborghinis and Ferraris, what was the final count? Wow, look at all of these supercars here. And I guess we found out how many supercars can fit in a C5 Super Galaxy. And this is one heck of a view. This is definitely one of the world's first having this many supercars with this C5 Super Galaxy. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. It's raining now, so we're gonna go.